Hello, I'm your host, K1D Comment, and welcome to my series I like to call Half-Ass Reviews. The series in which I review a game in which I'm only halfway done with. And this week, I'm covering Helldivers 2, which really doesn't have a halfway mark, but you get the idea. Helldivers 2 is a sequel to the highly underrated top-down shooters, Helldivers. Side note, I played the first game, so I was surprised when the game came back in the genre it did. Speaking of genre, I think we need to talk about the people that made this game, being Arrowhead Studios. Arrowhead Game Studios AB was founded in 2008. It's a Swedish dev team. Damn, these niggas really came out during our financial crisis. They said you gonna get these goddamn games. The studio was founded by students at Luleå University of Technology. I probably butchered that. A public research university in Sweden. The founders being Robin, Emil, Malin, John, and Anton. I probably messed half their names up. I didn't even try to read their last names. Came together and created Magica, ultimately winning Game of the Year at the 2008 Swedish Game Awards. With this W in the bag, they continued on to make more games. In the past 17 years, they made 5 games, being Magica and the Showdown Effects with the publisher Paradox, Gauntlet with the publisher Warner Bros. Games, and Helldivers 1 and 2 with the publisher Sony Interactive Entertainment. Helldivers changes the formula up. Instead of being a top-down shooter, it's now a third-person shooter. But enough of the background stuff, let's get into the review. If you're new, which you probably are, first off, welcome. Hit that like and subscribe. Stay for a while, you'll enjoy it. And second, I'll be reviewing this game to my standards, being story, world, gameplay, and comic. Starting off with story. Non-existent. It's a completely online game. Matter of fact, here, watch this.
Super Earth, our home. Prosperity. Liberty. Hi there. Democracy. Our way of life. Oh, hello. But freedom doesn't come free. No! Sweet liberty! No! Look familiar? Scenes like these are happening all over the galaxy right now. You could be next. That is, unless you make the most important decision of your life. Prove to yourself that you have the strength and the courage to be free.
Join the Helldivers.
Become part of an elite peacekeeping force!
See exotic new life forms. And spread managed democracy throughout the galaxy. Become a hero. Become a legend. Become a Helldiver.
You saw that, right? Makes you want to go kill some bugs, don't you? Well, sorry to say, you just saw the whole game. Matter of fact, you just watched the entire story. So give yourself a pat on the back and congratulations. Woo! Yeah! Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Hey, yo, this chicken cold, bitch. But on a more serious note, this game doesn't have a story. And it really doesn't need one. Now, could you make an argument that the game is telling a story that involves fascism, authoritarianism, ultranationalist society based on and rooted in militarism, with sprinkles of superiority complexes and manifest destiny, but instead of the United States, who thought they were divinely destined to expand its domain and spread democracy and capitalism across the North American continent, instead of that, think way bigger and form the planet. Matter of fact, fuck it. Here's a plot summary about the game that I found online. In the not so distant future, with the Earth governed by the militaristic United Citizen Federation and multitudes of highly evolved colludes, arachnids, during the safety of our solar system, high school athlete Johnny Rico and 3 of his hometown friends join up to do their part and to ensure humankind's future. An all-out invasion has begun. However, in this far-off exoplanet hostile to life as we know it, brute force alone and conventional strategies won't cut it. Now, the unstoppable bug army is at the gates. Rico and his fellow Starship Troopers end up serving as cannon fodder. If you're a film buff, you probably know I just lied through this. I just lied through my teeth. See, this plot, it didn't come from this game, but instead the cult classic Starship Troopers. You can tell this game takes heavy inspiration from the films, so much that you can damn near say they're in the same universe. Hell, maybe even in the same world. The world of Helldivers 2 is a semi-vast one. See, thanks to this being an online game, it doesn't run quickly into the typical problems of an online game, and that will be repetition. See, the game has ever-changing battlefields. You can spend a whole day fighting on one planet just to come back the next day to find the planet that you was fighting on, either A, under the control of Helldivers, meaning that there are no active missions available, meaning you can't play there on that world for now, or B, the planet gets overrun, all Helldivers gets pushed off the planet, and again, you can't play on it. Now, note how I say Helldivers and not you. See, this is a real community-based game. Whether a planet is lost or conquered is all based on the community. And you can see the numbers of people currently fighting on the planet right here. Hell, you can even see just how many people are playing right now and how many people died, stuff of that nature. Now, does that mean you're going to see all these players in game? Hell no. Why would you think that? This shit ain't PlanetSide 2. The closer you get to that is seeing all the other ships on of the other players. When over a planet, you can see all the ships. Speaking of planets, let's talk about them. Different planets host different terrain types, missions, weather, and most importantly, enemies. See, there are so far the 3 original enemies from the first Helldivers. They return, being the Terminids, Automatons, and Illuminate. Let's go through them. The Terminids are the bug-like creatures. The Automatons are the robots, and the Illuminate is kind of like the zombie aliens? Each in their own sector and section on the map, forming different war fronts. Side note, sections are groups of planets, so losing or winning a single planet doesn't mean that sector is complete. Just a side note. Each planet has different weather and terrains, meaning you might have to plan around some things. An example is that when you're playing on a planet with snow, you might get the frost warning that your character could move slower due to it being cold. You might need to bring like a flame weapon or something, or some type. Another planet might have a heat warning, meaning that due to the heat, any laser-based weapon will heat up faster, basically telling you get less ammo and you have to wait for them to cool off more. There are other effects, some good, some bad, but I think you get the gist of it. Just look at the tab called Effects right here in the corner. Just check, see if anything's going on. And if the thought of all these choices are giving you pause on what to do, just go and do any of these major orders on the side over here, if there are any. If the community completes them, you get some medals to spend for the war bond. When not fighting on the ground, you will be spending a little time on your ship. The ship works as kind of like a hub where you can upgrade your gear, change your loadouts, and look for the next mission. One of the most important mechanics can be upgraded here, being the ship, which affects your stratagem, something I'll talk about a little later. While on the ship, you more than likely want to pick your loadout for your weapons. Different weapons have different option types. Granted, a lot of weapons share customizable pieces, such as like optics, underbarrels, etc. To unlock these, you must buy them using the currency from just playing the game. You might also want to change up your Helldivers drip, being the armor, helmet, and cape. So far, only the armor affects the gameplay. Example is, if you choose one of the heavier options, you might have more armor, but it lowers your speed and stamina regen. And on the opposite side, light armor has higher speed, higher stamina regen, but lower armor. Also, pay attention to the armor passive. They give different perks, such as being able to scout areas or having more health stems. Small stuff that helps. Now, to unlock more weapons and armor, you have to go through the war bonds, what I was talking about earlier. See, the war bonds are kind of like a battle pass. See, you get a base war bond, being the Helldivers Immobilized. You can unlock other war bonds by using the super credits, which is this game's kind of like premium currency. If you wish to unlock all the war bonds, each costing 1,000 a piece, and there's being 14 of them, so that'd be 14,000 super credits. Actually, no, I think it's 15 because the ODST just came out, so about 15,000 credits, super credits. It's going to cost you about 130 to 150 bucks, depending on how far you get in the main war bond, since it gives some super credits away. So if you want to unlock all of it, you're gonna have to pay up or play or save up super credits. I'm kind of indifferent with how they play with money. Speaking of play, I think it's time to talk about that gameplay. The game is a standard 4-person co-op objective shooter. If you don't have 4 people to play with you, which your non-friend have an ass, don't worry about it. You can throw an SOS beacon down, allowing people to join you. Basically, allowing for people to jump into your mission and help you out, or you can hop into others to help them out. Help which more than likely is needed, since the game has a range of difficulties ranging from 0 all the way through 12, if I'm not mistaken. With 0 being kind of like the tutorial type level and 12 being the hardest. Truth be told, you don't have to even go to the highest difficulty. The only reason why you would want to climb to those higher ranks is for the collectibles, the material, which are used to upgrade your ship, which gives boosts and cuts cooldowns to your stratagems. Stratagems, speaking of them, they're kind of like your special throwables. See, Helldivers 2 is like Helldivers 1. Well, no shit, nigga, it's a shooter. It's a fucking sequel. Except instead of being a top-down shooter, it's a 3D over your shoulder shooter, whatever. Use the sticks to move and look around, R2 to shoot, R3 if clicked is ADS, aka aim down sight, depending on what gun you're using. You have your choice of grenades, health stems, the ability to dive, yada yada. Nothing really special. What separates this game from the others is the stratagems. Stratagems are the little icons in the corner right here. These are used to do and use special actions to get gear or attacks. This can range from calling in a bombing strike to dropping an EMP or a massive explosion. It could be used to call in smoke, it can be used to call in weapons or mechs, or even to call in more Helldivers, aka reviving a person when they die. They do this by inputting inputs, by like directional inputs in a row and then tossing it. Each having a home to a different type of housing stratagem, meaning that upgrading certain places on your ship correlates to whatever stratagem that is in that area. AKA, if you upgrade something from the brig, all stratagems under the brig section is effective. Now, with the background shit out the way, let's talk about the actual game. And it's fun. First, you have to pick a campaign. I would say mission, but most missions are a series of 3 different missions, so that's why I just call them campaign. You make your loadout before each mission, picking up 4 stratagems to use in the mission. Note, you cannot change stratagems mid-mission, so be mindful. If you're going into a place where it's like, oh, you need to rescue people, how about we not bring massive bombs and explosions? Just saying. You can also bring a booster along. This gives a buff for the whole team, such as more health, quicker stamina regen, etc. And you're going to need them to go against enemies. Speaking of enemies, let's talk about them. The game sports a total of 44 enemy types, ranging from all 3 factions, each having similar but different attacks. Example, each faction has a fodder enemy that's super easy to take down. 2, each faction also having enemies that make you run for your life. You will be running to complete these missions / objectives. Speaking of objectives, there are 21 primary objectives, 3 sub-objectives, and 15 tactical objectives. What does that mean, you may be asking? Well, slow your ass down, I'll explain. When landing, you have X amount of time to complete the mission. You can go over, but you won't have access to your stratagems. So if it's like, you gotta complete something in 30 minutes and it take you 35, them 5 minutes you will not, them 5 minutes over, you won't be having any help. No stratagems, or I think you get revived like every 2 minutes if you run out of them, but whatever. The primary objective can range from eliminating certain enemies to rescuing people to having to destroy bases. Sub-objectives come into play on harder levels. They're just like primary objectives, but kind of smaller and can be done slightly faster and easier compared to it being a main mission basically. Finally, tactical objectives are just side missions / side quests. Truth be told, you can send a lone Helldiver to complete it with no problem. It could be something like shutting down a broadcast by putting in a set of inputs, or simply just blowing it up. Side note, since I'm talking about inputs, the stratagems are used by inputting a series of directional inputs in, and if you mess up, you have to restart the command again, so I'm just reiterating that. So, it becomes a thing where you kind of have to stay calm, kind of like a comic book character. Speaking of comics, I think it's time to talk about it, since this game has minor issues. I don't have too many issues with the game. Maybe like 3, 4 small gripes. The first is the health pod on revival. So something about this game is you have to be careful on what and how you fight. Example, if you throw a turret make sure it's facing away from the group and not actively aiming or possibly could be aiming at the group. Newsflash, most of the weapons does not differentiate between friend or foe. So if a turret is shooting and you just happen to run in front of it, or it happens to point at you, you will be getting tagged up. Also, when a player throws a stratagem to cause something, for something, basically anything, move away from it, because it will crush anything under it, including your teammate and even you. And that's one of my problems, is that when you call for a revive, the person returns via health pot. They can somewhat control it, depending on how upgraded the ship is. They might be able to control it fully and where it lands. And sometimes it's a hit or miss when it comes to attacking. Example, I die, I get respawned back. I know it's a heavily armored enemy, so I land on top of it to kill it. Common strategy. Problem comes is when you hit the enemy, but the game doesn't register it, so it just so ever slightly slides the foe away, and now you're just stuck within your face. I'm not a big fan of that. Another thing, ammo count. See, this is a semi-realish game, meaning that if you have 5 magazines for a gun, you shoot some bullets out of one magazine and you reload, you lose the rest of that magazine. So if you have like half a magazine worth, they're gone. There's no problem with that. But something I wish they would do is, as a quality of life, is give some type of indication on how many bullets you have left. And yes, I know they already have that via like the little sidebar. It's like it whittles down as you shoot, but I mean like an actual number, like how many shots you have left. Like if they added a booster for that purpose, I wouldn't be mad. And the last thing, this is not really a problem, it's just something to be mindful of. Mission limits are kind of crazy. You can spend up to almost 2 hours trying to complete a single campaign. No, this is not the rule. This is the exception. Realistically, you probably want to spend like 40 to like 50 minutes completing all a campaign being like three missions. Yeah, they can drag on a bit if you're trying to do everything on the map, especially as you get to like the tougher levels. Oh, also, can we get away to detecting the serial? Like looking around the map for them is cool, but like I'm just trying to upgrade my ship, and that's all I'm trying to do. Like something they could do is add a stratagem that drops something that pings where they at, like a metal detector. Like a metal detector type of item, have it take up a space. Or maybe even like a stratagem that just scans the area for surrounding materials. Alright, I'm done. I feel as though I talked enough. Tell me in the comments how you're enjoying the game so far if you're new to it. Or, if you're a long-time player, share something that you discovered along the way. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. And with that being said, the galaxy needs me. Farewell.
I'm a shapeshifter, have no face to show. Please don't take off my mask, my disguise.